Today we are talking about supplements. I'm going to be going through some of the supplements that are worth taking, some things you should really be aware of when taking supplements, why you would take a supplement, and how to specifically use the supplement. And in no way am I saying go out and buy all these supplements at all. I'm just giving you the lowdown, giving you the real information on different parts of your diet that may be lacking where you may want to supplement depending on your lifestyle. So if you are curious about what kind of supplements I take and why I take them and the nutritional science behind them, stick around for this video and I will give you the real tea on what supplements are worth it and what supplements are not worth your money. Hey guys, what's up? How are we? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Molly and I release science-backed nutrition and health videos every week. Before I started studying nutritional science and doing some research on my own about supplements, I used to think that I could just walk into any health food store and take any supplement. I didn't know that it interacted with medication, that it could potentially interact with other nutrient absorption, and I believed what was ever on the bottle. So if it said, soothes the GI tract, I would not question it whatsoever. The supplement market is completely unregulated. That means that what they say is in the bottle doesn't actually have to be in the bottle. As messed up as that is, it's the truth. You really want to be sure that you're getting supplements from a tested, reputable brand. I'll go more into brands and what to look for reputable companies later in this video. There's so much confusion around supplements and there's so much misinformation because everybody's trying to sell you something. So in this video, nothing is sponsored whatsoever. I am not a doctor and I'm definitely not telling you to take these supplements. I'm just going to be giving you the information that I know from my nutritional science degree as well as the research that I've done on my own to find supplements that work for my body. And then I'm going to also be talking about a few really trendy supplements that you may have heard of and are curious if they're effective. Before we dive in, if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to do that and hit the bell below so you get notified for when I post. As a nutritional science student, I have to say that food always comes first. So food first before any supplements. When I go through these supplements, I'll also include opportunities in your diet where you could elevate your levels of these minerals or vitamins. All right, so let's dive in. The first thing you really want to be aware of before taking a supplement or going and researching what kind of supplement you may need is where your diet is lacking. If you're vegan or vegetarian, you may be lacking B12 and iron because B12 and iron are two essential nutrients that come heavily in red meat and other animal protein sources. However, with that said, just because you're vegan does not mean that you should go out and buy B12 and iron supplements. When you see a dietitian and you're anemic, which means you have low iron, they're really careful about working with you to take the right amount of iron because if you take too much iron, it's like poison in your body. You want to make sure that you're actually anemic before you start taking an iron supplement. If you are anemic, definitely talk to your doctor or a dietitian and they can guide you through some supplementation as well as a few other dietary changes that will help you increase your iron intake, and that might involve increasing your iron sources as well as eating iron with vitamin C, which increases the absorption of iron. And on the B12 note, B12 is super important. So if you're low on B12, there are serious consequences for that, and that can include central nervous system issues, neurological issues. You want to be really careful. So definitely get that tested if you're concerned, if you're not getting a lot of meat or animal proteins in your diet. So iron and B12 can be found in animal proteins, like I said, eggs, fish. Iron can also be found in beans, in spinach, in fortified cereals. In my opinion, if your diet is full of fruits and vegetables, like 3 to 5 servings of fruits and vegetables per day, and you have a variety of proteins, I don't really think a multivitamin is absolutely necessary. I think it's more important to look at where your diet is lacking. So if you don't have dairy, it's really hard to get enough calcium, and there's not a ton of plant-based calcium sources. So actually do take a calcium supplement. I'm going to be talking about this a little bit more later on. Taking a ton of vitamin minerals actually isn't awesome. You don't want to overdo it. That's something I totally didn't know before I started studying nutrition. Every single vitamin and mineral has an upper tolerable level. Tolerable is the hardest word for me to say. An upper tolerable level, and you don't want to exceed that level because then you actually run the risk of having a vitamin or mineral toxicity. Taking a look at the back of the supplement container is really important because it will say 50% daily value, and that is a little bit easier to interpret than 400 IU international international units. What does that mean to any average human? Nothing. So looking at the 50% daily value tells you, okay, if I take this supplement, that's 50% of the calcium that I need for the day. Okay, so let's start with calcium. So I'm dairy-free. It's really important to be eating adequate calcium so that your bones can absorb calcium and maintain their bone health for as long as you can. Pure Encapsulations is one of my favorite brands because they're true ID certified and you know what you're getting. This calcium supplement comes with vitamin D3. Vitamin D and calcium are synergistic nutrients and they work together to improve your bone health. If you drink fortified almond milk like a Silk or an Almond Breeze, and you'll also be getting calcium through that. This is so much fun for me. I love talking about supplements. One more note on calcium. So calcium actually binds to magnesium, and magnesium is another very important mineral that I sometimes supplement with. I always take them apart from each other because they bind. So it's like if you're taking calcium, it's gonna bind to the magnesium and then they don't get absorbed as well. So you wanna kind of space them out. I just kind of like fill in the gaps with my diet. So if I know like, oh, I didn't have any almond milk and I didn't really have any other calcium sources, I'll take a calcium. The next supplement I'm going to talk about is vitamin D. So this particular vitamin D is nature made. It's not very expensive. I take this especially in the winter time because there's so much research about vitamin D coming out that it's protective against respiratory illness and really protective for the immune system. My doctor told me that if I should supplement with anything, it should be vitamin D, and I agree with that because there is so much amazing research coming out about inadequate levels of vitamin D contributing to Crohn's and other autoimmune disorders. So if you look it up, the RDA is 800 international units of vitamin D per day. But you'll see on a lot of vitamin D containers that it's like 1,000 IUs or 4,000 IUs, and that's because when your levels are low, you'll need more to bring the levels of your vitamin D in your blood higher. But in the wintertime, especially in Massachusetts, I'm from Boston and I don't get a lot of sun in the winter, so my vitamin D levels start to dip, and that's one of the reasons why we get sicker in the winter time as well, because of low levels of vitamin D. So in the winter time, I'll take maybe 1,000 units of vitamin D a couple times a week just to make sure my levels stay at a nice optimal level. Some other vitamin D sources in the diet to include would be fatty fish, egg yolk, mushrooms that are sauteed, especially shiitake mushrooms. Okay, moving on to magnesium. So magnesium is called a miracle mineral for so many different reasons. It's essential for hormone production, muscle growth, metabolism, and so many of us are deficient. So I think like almost 75% of the population is deficient in magnesium, and one of the reasons is because when we're stressed and when we have that cortisol response in the body, we dump our magnesium stores. We just like release it. It's also really hard to get enough magnesium in through your diet, but it is definitely possible. So some sources of magnesium are Brazil nuts, pumpkin seeds, spinach, quinoa, dried beans, and you really do want to incorporate all of these foods, these nuts and seeds and veggies, legumes, because they are so healthy for you. They have so much fiber that will improve your overall health. If you don't feel like your diet is sufficient of magnesium, then try to incorporate those food sources, and you can always ask your doctor to get your levels tested. There's a bunch of different types of magnesium. So right here is magnesium citrate, and magnesium citrate is helpful for constipation, but there's also magnesium glycinate or glycinate, and that type of magnesium is just another form. They're both really bioavailable, which means that they're both easily absorbed and utilized by the body, but magnesium glycinate is used more for like mood balancing and sleep. So those are two major benefits of magnesium, and I know a lot of people, especially dietitians, that take magnesium and they really swear by it. Another supplement that binds to magnesium, so you want to take at a different time than magnesium, is zinc. And I use zinc when I'm feeling a little bit under the weather because there's lots of good research out there about zinc being beneficial for immune health and can potentially help you strengthen your immune system. And I do notice that it helps me avoid a cough or a cold when I start to feel it coming on. I take about 30 milligrams when I start to feel sick. However, this is a lot of zinc, so you do not want to take this zinc every day because zinc actually binds to copper as well, and if you're repeatedly taking a ton of zinc, your copper levels can start to decline. Zinc is essential for muscle recovery, for sleeping, metabolism, so it's important to have adequate sources in your diet. Pumpkin seeds, Brazil nuts and seeds, legumes, meat. Another supplement that I absolutely swear by, this is like clinically I saw a difference. So if you're not a girl and and you're grossed out by girly things, then you might want to just like skip 30 seconds. This is called Femdophilis by Jarrow Formulas. And my doctor recommended this to me because I was getting recurrent UTIs. UTIs suck so bad. It really impacted my gut health with how many antibiotics I was taking. And so finally I found these probiotics, and not only did they help me prevent UTIs, but also just my whole flora felt so much healthier and so much more balanced. And if you're a girl, you know what I mean. Sorry if that's TMI, but if you're struggling, take these, let me know how you like them. Highly recommend this. I get this at Whole Foods. The best time to take probiotics is actually when your stomach acid is lower. So right in the morning before you have any food, or at night is a great time, like after dinner before you go to bed. They need to be in the refrigerator, so I'm gonna go put them in there. All right, so let's talk about omega-3. Speaking of research, omega-3 has a ton of great research about being immune protective, immune enhancing, as well as decreasing inflammation. And so it's very safe, it's very well tested. Nordic Naturals is a great brand. However, I got mine at Trader Joe's. I think it's great for joints. So I have an inflammatory joint condition, and I notice a difference actually. I don't necessarily take it every day because I have a lot of fatty fish in my diet, and you can get omega-3s from fatty fish, from flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, things of which that I incorporate in my diet every day. But if you don't, then taking an omega-3 supplement may be beneficial. And this I take with food just because I think it can upset my stomach if I don't. I also take calcium with food. I meant to mention that because calcium definitely upsets my stomach if I take it on an empty stomach. Also, a note on fish oil. So you want to make sure that the fish oil is not expired and it's not rancid. You can do this by actually cutting open one of the capsules and smell it. And if it smells like fish, or if it smells rancid, it's bad. Always check the expiration date. And if you're worried about fish, if you're vegan, you can always take a flaxseed oil supplement. Flaxseed oil is another great omega-3 source, or you can just get some flaxseed oil and like drizzle it on your salads as a finishing oil. You want to put it on after you cook your food because omega-3 is damaged by heat. Omega-3s can also be found in eggs, in salmon, sardines, and adding flaxseed and chia seed to your smoothie can be a great way to add omega-3 to your diet without having to go run out and buy a supplement. Okay, this next supplement I definitely think is effective. It's called Vitex or Chaste Tree or Chasteberry. It's used for regulating hormones and also regulating a woman's cycle. And when I was balancing my hormones, I talked more about my struggle with my hormones in my past hormonal health video, which I'll link up here for you. And there is some good research about it being effective in helping to regulate cycles. So I got mine at Pure Encapsulations because I really trust this brand. From the research that I saw, there wasn't a lot of negative consequences or health risks. So it's worth a try, in my opinion, if you are trying to regulate your cycle, or if you have really bad PMS. I've also heard it been used for that. And I actually did notice when I wasn't taking it, my PMS was worse. I'm not taking it currently because my cycle has regulated. Thankfully, my PMS isn't as bad as it used to be, but I did try taking this because I was desperate. My PMS was terrible. So if you're struggling, try this out. So a lot of you guys know from my Instagram at zucchini.who that I used to struggle a lot with IBS and acid reflux. And when I have symptoms, kind of as like a quick relief, I take these Gaia Herbs Reflux Relief. If I'm feeling like upset stomach, I'll also take that. Speaking of upset stomach, very simple, very quick and effective. I really like these ginger rescue tablets. I think they're great. Ginger is a well-researched and effective herb for nausea, indigestion, motion sickness, morning sickness. So I really like this if I'm like on the plane or in the car and I'm getting a little nauseous or just had a big meal, don't feel great, I take a couple of these and I do really think it helps. Okay, so now I'm going to be going through a few popular supplements that you may have questions on, that you may have heard about or seen on social media, and give you the real tea on whether they are worth your money or not. So first I want to talk about is spirulina. So spirulina is a type of algae, and its claim to fame is that it's high in iron and high in antioxidants. It is high in antioxidants, but whether or not it's high in bioavailable iron is to be disputed. substituted. I've also heard that some sources of spirulina are not that trustworthy. So if you're taking spirulina, you want to really be sure it's from a NSF or USP certified supplement brand. And you can check the brand of the supplement to see if they have that. What that does is it lets you know that that supplement has been third-party tested for potency and identity. So to be sure that it has what it says is in there, and to be sure it has exactly how much it says is in there. Anyways, I've heard mixed things about spirulina. I took it for a long time and saw absolutely no difference. So in my opinion, not worth your money. The second supplement I want to talk about is turmeric. And turmeric is an amazing herb. It's one of the most researched superfoods for anti-inflammatory effects, anti-cancer effects, beneficial properties for the brain because it crosses the blood-brain barrier. However, taking it as a supplement, I didn't really love. I saw some like GI issues happen to me personally, and I used to take it as a supplement as well as taking turmeric shots, and it really kind of bothered my stomach. And that's just me. So you might have good luck with it, but I think that incorporating it into your meals and maybe once in a while having a turmeric latte is better than going out and buying a turmeric supplement. And you can get those same benefits by incorporating it into a drink or a food. If you have taken it, leave me a comment and let me know, but that's my take. Let's talk about collagen. So collagen is all over social media and it's become widely popular. Collagen is a rather large peptide. However, one study did prove that collagen crosses the intestinal barrier in a complete peptide form and then can be utilized in your joints to improve joint health. This same study revealed the benefits of collagen, showing that it was helpful in preventing injury, increasing flexibility, and preventing joint collapse. There also has been some research coming out about how taking collagen through food or a supplement actually does show up in your skin and increase the amount of collagen. But collagen is expensive. You can get adequate protein and minerals through your diet that will help you synthesize collagen without having to go spend $40 on a protein powder. I used to take collagen and I really did like it, but I haven't seen a huge difference since I took it out of my diet. It's just another source of protein, and I do feel like I'm getting enough protein in my diet. Having adequate sources of vitamin C in your diet is going to be a precursor for collagen. So incorporating fruits and vegetables, spinach, kiwis, red peppers, citrus fruits, anything high in vitamin C is going to help you further produce natural collagen, which your body does on its own. Speaking of protein, one supplement that I do swear by is Nuzest protein powder, the pea-based protein powder, and I have been using it for years, ever since I started struggling with IBS. Really helped improve my nutritional status, and I use it every day in my smoothies. Love it. I mix it with a little bit of water, make like a protein fluff, and add some berries and some nut butter, and it's amazing. I linked my code for that down below. Alright, so those are all of my supplements that I take, as well as a few supplements to be aware of and some really hot supplements that you might have been curious about. If you have any questions at all, feel free to comment them down below. If there are any supplements that you personally swear by, I would love to hear about them. So leave me a comment down below and I'll be sure to respond. If you've made it this far in this video, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. If you haven't already subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you get notified for my future posts. I release science-backed nutrition and health videos every week and every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll see you next time.